Hello, TOC Town and Team One Blogosphere. Thank you so much for coming back for another episode podcast of Travel Tuesday. Today, I'm in the studio with
Jackie Somerville.
Jackie. You wanted to go ahead and lead this session? Go
Sure.
ahead, girl. We got so much to talk about. I was just like, okay, what's next?
I'm like, huh? What? You want me? Nah. So today I'm just going to touch a little bit on marketing. I went to a session and learned a ton of information on how to market to our ideal clients. And the first thing you want to do is figure out who is your ideal client. If you have a certain niche, like if you are focused more on groups and, or like, what do you call those things? Family reunions, that type of thing, then that's who you want to market to. If you are looking at more of a destination wedding, honeymoon, you're all into the brides and what have you, then that's going to be your niche. Even if you're more just into families, you want to do more family oriented trips or what have you, then that would be your niche. But whatever it is, you first got to figure out what is your ideal client. And so once you do that, you kind of have that locked in place. It is said that you can kind of do what they call a market survey, just to kind of get a feel for who would need your service, what are people looking for. And actually you can just even ask people that what would you want in an ideal travel agent, what kind of services are you looking for. And the reason why is because you have so much out there now in terms of travel. You have all these different travel sites that you're coming up against. You have your people who are pretty much veterans in travel. They've been doing travel for 20, 30, 40 years. But because you have so many different travel sites you can go to now, to book travel. And then you have stuff like TravelZoo, vacation.com, who offer things at a much lower rate sometimes than what you can find. So, of course, you really have to be on it with your marketing. And so now the thing is what is it that you're going to offer that's going to put you over the top, um, that will make someone be more drawn to go through you versus just going on something like TravelZoo. And one of the things is what I always tell people is that they get a personal touch. When you go on like TravelZoo or, even something like Orbitz or something like that, once you get your ticket, you get your ticket. Once you get your vacation, you get your vacation. If something goes wrong, you're just calling the 800 number and you're praying that somebody is going to actually act like they care,
Hello.
and resolve your issue. And
Right?
sometimes, unfortunately, you'll get somebody that just won't care. They're just there for a paycheck. They could care less. You know, they don't have a relationship with you. And that's the main thing. You want to build relationship. You really want to have that rapport with people so that, yeah, if they're all the way over in Greece and, something jumps off, where, maybe they lost their passport, God forbid, but, you can be at home working for them. You
And
can
one
be,
thing I was like, let
go
me
ahead.
jump in
Uh-huh.
with a couple of examples. This is why a lot of our conversations spark situations that I've had to rescue people out of. I wasn't a travel agent at the time. I wish I was, but I'm glad that I am now. But now it's like one thing you need to know, like you're saying, you want to develop a relationship with your clientele so that if something does jump off, like you said, you have relations with them to know that, oh my goodness, you're stuck where? You lost your passport, you lost your ID. Okay, let's work through this. Because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times, like you said, if you call the 1-800 number, you're hoping and praying that they actually care about your situation. They're paid to act like it, but truly, once you get off the call, they're not thinking about you.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's like I had one client who headed out to Florida, and I forget, it was like a few situations that happened to her because she went with a few friends, and my thinking was, you know what, I need to be on travel watch with her
Mm-hmm.
because mind you, it's like she was staying in an all inclusive hotel, and I do that with all my clients. But for her, it was like a last minute thing. I need you to hurry up and arrange this. Could you help me out? price was not an issue. I definitely hooked her up with the all inclusive, and she's like, yes, I love the spas and all the she poo poo stuff, no problem, but definitely safety was an issue because when she arrived, there was so many issues with the hotel. Though it was advertised, as a posh place, it wasn't as posh as they advertised you
Mm,
know so it's like she called me and I'm thinking, okay, let me check in, how are you, good morning, like I'm the concierge who's at home, working on your
right,
behalf. And so
right,
she's like, you know what, I wasn't going to say something, but let me go ahead and tell you. So she unloaded on me what happened to her the night when she arrived at the hotel. They weren't in the bestest of mood and decided to voice all of their complaints on her, which was a big issue. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, try calling the 1-800 number to see if they're even listening to you to see what happened. So
right,
I was so happy that I said, let me go ahead and go on Travel Watch from the time she left to the time she got back. What do you need? Can I help you with
right.
anything? By the way, you can go to this site or that site. They have this historical thing. I know you love to read. So guess what? So and so is in your area at the time. Are you kidding me? I was her best friend by the time it was said and done.
Right.
So in that,
Exactly.
like you said, it's like she wasn't a person that fell into my niche, because I mostly deal with small business owners. But because she was a friend of the family, no problem. I'm taking care of you. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So
Mm-hmm.
develop relationship, as a business person, as a certified travel agent, and like you were saying, you never know what could happen because once you develop that one spark, guess what? That person's remembering you and what you did on their behalf. They're definitely going to mention you in the next conversation.
Right.
And
Exactly.
you want it to be on a positive note.
Exactly.
Go ahead. You were going to talk about
Yeah.
something else.
Oh, yeah. No, you're good. You're good. So just really, before you even think about marketing, you want to make sure that you know how to build rapport, you know how to talk to people because you can have the best marketing, out there. But when you get face to face with that person, if you're not backing up what you just put out there, now your marketing means nothing.
Exactly.
And people, the word of mouth, I mean, I'm telling you, it's powerful, either for positive
hmm
or negative.
Even in this day of age of
Yes,
electronics, they can instant
exactly.
message somebody quick, fast, and hurry.
Yep. I mean, people putting up websites like crazy. I mean, there's
Woo!
so many different tools out there to put up a website. It takes nothing to put one up now. And
hmm
people will literally, I've seen them for other businesses where they literally have a website that all that website does is trash that particular business.
Wow.
So you have to be on your P's and Q's. You got to be careful.
And this is
I mean,
why it's good to have these kind of
yeah,
conversations because you
yeah,
need to be reminded, your ace boom coon is your ace boom coon. But when you step in the office, you need to understand the professional atmosphere that you
mm,
have to create and maintain. It's after
yes,
hours. Even then, you're still an account executive. You see what I'm saying?
yes.
It's like you can go to the office parties. Nobody's saying you have to be a hermit. But know that when it's all said and done, you want your name in a favorable place.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So once you figure out, what you can bring to the customer and what you can do to kind of set yourself aside, you kind of want to go at from different angles. You want to do like a wide angle view. So because, like I said before, there's a lot of information out there. You have 70% of customers want to work with people who know their content. So you have to be a travel agent that pretty much knows what you're talking about. So if you're talking about having doing a destination wedding, you need to know all the steps from A to Z. You got to know about the passports. You have to know, you start researching different sites. It really doesn't cost that much to become certified in destination weddings for different areas. You can do, the Caribbean, you can do Mexico, you can do the Mediterranean, research, even if you don't necessarily do the certification classes, at least get that information, gather that information, learn the information. You can, there are a lot of sites that have that information that's already like bulleted out for you and bullet points and stuff, and you can just download it. There's a publication that's called Destination Weddings and Honeymoons. I get the emails from them all the time through the was it travel, I forget who it's through, but
We'll post the link it
yeah,
below,
yeah,
when you send it to me.
that's fine.
Hmm.
So I mean, there's so many different publications and stuff that's out there for travel agents to help support us. Home travel agents, another good support to utilize as well. So, just know your information. So when you're talking to people and you're gathering that initial information from them, they can see, wow, that you're on it, that you know what it is that you're talking about, and then they can go ahead and go ahead and book their trip with you.
And just to add to that,
Uh-huh.
one thing I loved about coming on this team, this is why I'm like, I'm a very much, you have to educate me first, teach me
Mm-hmm.
how to fish, because, I come to the table already having had experience the business world, so in that, the good, the bad, the ugly, it's like when you become a new certified travel agent, the first thing I love about us is that we send you to the back office. There's tons of podcasts, tons of literature, tons of conversation, because I was going to highlight Lori Spears, who does a Wednesday conversation every week with all of the travel agents, and she takes questions and answers. And there's one story that she can't help but repeating, but you're like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad that, she's like, she's been in the business for over 30 years.
Okay.
And so she's done a lot of group bookings, cruise lines, the whole bit. So she can tell you, some subjects that we're definitely going to be highlighting during our podcast is like, you need to watch out for that. You need to be careful of this and be aware of that. It's all great and fun. She grossed, a 5-figure commission salary, in her first year. But trust me, she was hustling hard to make sure that people remembered that she was a travel agent.
Right.
But one thing she did mention was in that, one of those, there always, there's always something that happens that makes you remember, what, slow down for a minute, because she had booked a trip, with one of the groups. I think her son played soccer,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, they were getting all excited. They were buying the clothes for the trip. The excitement builds up. You did a great job marketing the trip, and finally one of the leaders gave her credit card, and she forgot to call the credit card in. Just that fast, she forgot to call the credit card in overnight, and that spilled over into nights after nights. So what happened was, all of a sudden, the parent called and said, "Hey, I never got my ticket." Or she's like, "Okay, let me check in on that." She was the last person to reserve her spot. Do you know that the cruise line canceled her whole entire reservation?
Shut up.
Yes.
Why?
Because she missed the deadline for one of the payments.
Oh, for
They
one
did
of the
not
payments.
call
Oh,
her, and on top of
jeez.
that, they didn't make her aware. By the way, your 30 students are no longer going on this cruise line anymore. That lady never spoke to her for the rest of her life.
Oh,
Can you imagine the chilling moment that you've had to have as the travel agent to say, guess what? You're not booked. And on top of that, the cruise line can't fit you into that schedule because the cruise is already booked?
oh,
Right. So it's like when we're saying be professional, do your homework, make sure all of it's like slow down, dot your I's, cross your
yeah.
T's, take your time and service your people. So it's like it happens to all of us. We all make those mistakes, but sometimes we can catch it the next day and recover from it. But
Right.
this one, she can't
Yeah. Well,
recover
see,
from
you
it.
know what? And my background is also in database management, so I'm real anal about that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So for me,
Oh,
I automatically, when I have a group that I'm booking, I automatically build out a spreadsheet and see whenever I am booking someone, that spreadsheet is in front of me.
you see what I'm saying?
Because once I've done everything, I put it in the spreadsheet. But see, I also send confirmations to my people. And I send them their confirmation number. I send them these different things. And that's only if I cannot include their email address in the confirmation. Because I pull that initial information from them on purpose so that they are always kept in the loop and they are on track as well, you know. So it's like I'm on track. I see what everything is going on, but you as a client, now you're in the loop. You see what's going on. Now if there's something that you forgot to tell me,
Right.
hopefully this will jog your memory as the client to let me know. I'm real like ticky about.
I hear you. I hear
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
And this is why, one of the reasons why I love having this conversation, because it's like you can never talk about it enough.
right,
It's like having had people go through the experience themselves. Trust
yeah,
me, and the fact that she was open like that to share, because people don't necessarily share, their mistakes. They'll share their successes, but in our group, we'll show you where we fell over. But it's like pick
hmm,
yourself back up, dust off. You might not get that group ever again or
right,
any other recommendations, but there are other groups out there that definitely will recommend you as a travel agent. So,
yes, yes,
wow. Believe it or not, we have more to talk about, but we're going to have to wait till the next episode in order to talk about it. So,
okay.
Jackie, why don't you go ahead and sign us off for this one?
All right. So now, if you ever want to get in touch with, if you want to get in touch with myself, you can at J. This is my email. Is J, the number two, the letter R, and then travel@gmail.com. So that's J2R travel@gmail.com. The name of my organization is called Journey to Royalty. I have a thing about showing people how to travel uh, as royalty without having to pay royalty prices. So, and we
And
hope.
who doesn't want to feel like a princess or definitely a king of his world?
Yes, yes, yes. Exactly.
So for me, if you want to get in touch with Travel Tuesday, to definitely, if you want to become a certified travel agent, we're definitely welcoming more agents within our community. You can reach us at toctown14@gmail.com. We're also on social media, like we mentioned before. I'm Lady Nick Broussard on Facebook and also on Pinterest. We all collaborate together, so we're pinning up a storm on Pinterest. So definitely get in touch with us. You'll have our support, and we so thank you for your support and listening in on this Travel Tuesday. And we look forward to the next one where we talk about travel. God bless.